What would you do if the home you built with love was stolen from you on the day you buried your soulmate? Anna stood at the edge of the cemetery, her black dress clinging to her frame as the autumn wind whispered through the bare trees. The weight of her husband David's coffin lingered in her mind, heavier than the tears she couldn't stop. They'd been married for 12 years, their love a quiet fortress built on shared dreams, and a little house they'd poured their hearts into. That house, modest, with its creaky porch and sunflower yellow kitchen, was their sanctuary. David had spent weekends sanding floors, planting roses, and carving their initials into the oak tree out back. It was where they'd laughed, fought, and planned a future that now lay shattered. As the priest's words faded and the crowd dispersed, Anna felt the world tilt. She didn't know that the real betrayal was unfolding miles away. The funeral was a blur of condolences and casseroles. Anna barely registered the faces: David's parents, his sister, neighbors who'd become family. She clutched the photo of him laughing in their garden, his eyes crinkling the way they always did when he teased her about her terrible cooking. Her grief was a tide, pulling her under, but she held on to that photo, a tether to the life they'd had. She didn't notice her in-laws' hurried whispers or the way they slipped out early, claiming a forgotten appointment. She trusted them. They were family, after all. Back at the house, Anna expected to collapse into the familiar embrace of their shared space. Instead, she found a sold sign staked into the front lawn, its red letters glaring like an open wound. The key trembled in her hand as she stumbled inside. The furniture was gone. The walls, once adorned with their wedding photos and David's goofy sketches, were bare. The air smelled wrong sterile, like someone had scrubbed away every trace of them. Her knees buckled, and she sank to the floor, the photo of David slipping from her fingers. Who could do this? And why now, when her world was already in ruins? She called David's parents, her voice shaking. "What happened to the house?" she demanded. Her mother-in-law, Ellen, answered with a practiced calm. "Oh, Anna, we didn't want to burden you. David had debts, you know. We had to sell it quickly to settle things. It's for the best." Debts? Anna's mind reeled. David was meticulous with money. They'd paid off the house years ago. She pressed for details, but Ellen's voice grew sharp, dismissive. "Don't make this harder than it needs to be," she snapped before hanging up. Anna's grief twisted into something darker: suspicion. She wandered the empty house, searching for answers. In the attic, she found a small, dusty box David had kept hidden. Inside were old receipts, a journal, and a tiny security camera he'd installed in the living room years ago to catch package thieves. Her hand shook as she connected it to her laptop. The footage was time-stamped for the day of the funeral. At 2:17 p.m., while Anna was weeping at David's grave, his parents and sister walked through the front door with a real estate agent. They laughed, their voices cold as they discussed the sale. "She'll never know," Ellen said, tossing a framed photo of Anna and David into a trash bag. "We'll split the profit 3 ways." Anna's heart pounded. Profit? The house was theirs, free and clear. She kept watching, her breath catching as the agent handed over a check. David's sister, Claire, smirked. Good thing David never told her about the trust fund. She'd have fought harder for this dump. Trust fund? Anna's world tilted again. David had never mentioned a trust fund, but the pieces were falling into place. His family's constant hints about their better investments, their subtle disdain for Anna's working-class roots, it wasn't just snobbery. It was greed. She was about to shut the laptop when a new figure appeared on the screen: a man, maybe 50, with a nervous gait and a face she didn't recognize. He wasn't with the agent or her in-laws. He lingered in the background, clutching a worn notebook, his eyes darting as if he didn't belong. "Who are you?" Anna whispered to the empty room. The footage showed him slipping into the kitchen, unnoticed by the others, and leaving something on the counter before hurrying out. Anna paused the video, zooming in. It was a letter addressed to her. Heart racing, she drove to the house, now someone else's property, and convinced the new owners to let her check the kitchen. Tucked behind a loose cabinet was the letter, its edges yellowed. It was from a man named Thomas, claiming to be David's estranged uncle. Anna, it read, I'm sorry I couldn't face you. David was like a son to me, but his parents cut me out years ago. They've been after his trust fund since he was a boy. The house was part of it, didn't let them take it. Check the oak tree. The oak tree. Anna ran outside, the cold biting her skin. She dug at the base of the tree, her fingers scraping dirt until they hit metal. A small lockbox, rusted but intact, held a single document, a deed naming Anna as the sole owner of the house, signed by David a month before his death. Tucked inside was a note in his handwriting, for my Anna, my home, always. Tears blurred her vision. He'd known his family might try something. He'd protected her, even from the grave. The twist of Thomas's letter gave Anna the strength to fight. She hired a lawyer, a sharp woman named Rachel who specialized in fraud. The security footage was damning, and the deed was ironclad. Rachel uncovered more. David's parents had forged documents to sell the house, siphoning the trust fund into offshore accounts. The court case was swift and brutal. Ellen and Claire's faces crumpled as the judge ruled in Anna's favor, ordering the house returned and restitution paid. The trust fund, meant for Anna and David's future, was restored. But the victory was bittersweet. Anna sat in the reclaimed house, its walls still bare, its heart still empty without David. She traced their initials on the oak tree, feeling the weight of his love and the sting of his family's betrayal. Thomas visited one day, his notebook filled with stories of David as a boy, stories Anna had never heard. He was no stranger now, but a bridge to the man she'd lost. Together, they planted new roses by the porch, a quiet act of healing. In the end, Anna kept the house, not for its walls, but for what it held, memories of a love that no greed could erase. She hung David's photo back on the wall, his smile steadying her. The camera still sat in the living room, a silent guardian. She didn't need it anymore, but she kept it running, a reminder that truth could outlast even the darkest deceit. What would you hold on to if the world tried to take it all? For Anna, it was a house, a promise, and the courage to fight for both.